Welcome back to Leading the Lies and Speaking Your Truth. We're here with part 2 of our interview with Delayah, and we actually had some space in there, so we're dressed different because it's a new day. It's a new day. We're here on a different day. So because of technical difficulties and scheduling difficulties, it took us a little bit of time to finish, but we are here to finish her interview now. And where we left off was Delayah was telling us the connection between her family getting a nicer, newer trailer, a new place to live, and that connection with her as far as her communications with Yeshua Hawkins. So she is going to finish telling us that part of her story right now. Go ahead, Delayah.
Yeah, so I asked if we can like get a new trailer and stuff. He kind of avoided the question and stuff and was just like, you could work in an office. So while I was working in an office, I worked there for like, it was a really hot day. And then I know that I got fired on January because it was my birthday. He fired me on my birthday.
Oh my gosh.
But that's like later on in the story. But like, so I worked there. He'll call me on like Sundays, and I would ask him like, I'll tell him my situation, like, you know, my dad is sick, and like my brother is asthma's acting up while living here. It's because like, you know how it looked. Like I have pictures. Like we were living in black mold. It wasn't, and the trailer wasn't in good shape. So I was telling him that, and he was just like giving me advice about my dad's health, saying that, you know, go to the LMP, the Life Nutrition, which I live next to the Life Nutrition on TEP Lane. And I mean, I'm not going to say that the stuff didn't work. I'm not going to say it didn't work. It's just that, like, I don't know, like, it was just...
So, Leah, let me ask you a question about that. Was your dad seeing any kind of doctor or medical professional at that time?
Yeah, he was. He was going in and out the hospital.
Okay, so was he clearing these cleanses or natural remedies with an actual doctor before he was doing them to make sure that they were not going to potentially make his condition worse or interfere with something else that he was doing?
Okay. So yeah, he did get advice about that from the doctor, and they were like,
good,
there's nothing wrong with cleansing and stuff, but like if you were always cleansing and not putting back the nutrients into your body, then, you know, you're just like cleaning but not like replacing it.
right.
So the HOI didn't really teach anybody about that, and also they were just always about like cleansing, so you could like be clean and not unclean and all that.
Right.
But didn't really, I feel like they weren't really big on like eating the right foods or like
right.
eating good, because they were saying that they were gonna help him with his health, but it's like they forgot about it. It's not, I'm not saying that's none of it, I'm not saying that it's their problem, but it's like, if you're gonna say we can do this and like we're gonna do that, right, and then not do it, then
let your yes be yes and your no be no.
Right.
Yeah. It's like we were ignored when we got there. It's like, honestly, like it was an experience and we were grateful for what we have, but it's just like how, you know, we explained our situation, especially with past and stuff. It was just like, whatever, like y'all, like, you know, you got to deal with it, like tests and trials and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. So how was it presented to you that how you could, what you could do in order to get that nicer, newer trailer for your family?
So, okay. So I explained it to him. He said he like understood and that he was going to give us a blue trailer. It's right by the HOY sign.
Yep.
I don't know how to explain it. It's just on that road. And it was like new. Nobody was living there and anything. So like, you know, it was perfect. So Shalavia.
Were there any stipulations? Like, did he just said you could have it, or he Like,
Okay, so while he was while I was when he would call me on Sundays and stuff, we'll talk about a lot of stuff. He would like talk about his like sermons and stuff, and then I'll talk about what I needed and stuff.
right.
And then he would so okay, so there was this one time where he asked me. Well, he asked me actually a couple of times. I just couldn't give him an answer at the moment. But he asked me if I wanted to be under his like under his headship or like be under. He specifically said, to be with him in the kingdom.
Right.
And I was just like,
okay, can I interrupt for just a minute?
Mm-hmm.
Just so our viewers know, in the House of Yahweh, when a man asks a woman to be under his headship, it means that he wants to marry her. Right. He wants to have a family and have a actual marriage with her. And I would also like to remind viewers, how old were you at the time that he asked you this, honey?
It was like 2017. So I was like, I'm 19 now, so I was like 15. Yeah.
Right.
I just turned 15. I was actually 14.
And so let me just clarify for our viewers here. Basically, he told you that if you went under his headship, that he would give that trailer to your family.
Pretty much. So, fast forward to like the next week and stuff. He told me, he told me not to tell my parents. He told me not to. He specifically said to not tell, my dad and and I was just like, I have to tell.
Right.
Like,
you probably thought that was suspicious. Even at 15, you were like, well, that seems weird.
Okay. So fast forward to the next week, and what did he say? What was the conversation?
So he wanted to know my answer. I said nicely as I can, like, I don't think that could happen. Like, no. And then I forgot his response, but the last thing the couple of days later, next Sabbath, like, I work in an office though, that I'm thinking I'm still working in an office because everything's okay,
Right.
And then a judge, like the head judge that is in charge of where I was working,
right,
in the North office, she just like.
Oh, hold on, can I interrupt for just a minute? I'm so sorry, because you never got to finish what you were saying about when he told you not to tell your parents. What was he telling you not to tell your parents?
He was telling me not to tell my parents about, because he also wanted to pick me up and help him clean his houses and stuff, like with his other wives. So I also worked at the North office during the week at the time. So I guess like he wanted to pick me up or during that time. So like, I don't know, like, I wasn't comfortable with doing that. So he pretty much, I remember I was also involved with a Peace of Solution movie and stuff. So he told everybody that's involved with that Peace of Solution movie to like come to one of his houses. And I remember like everyone being there at his houses and stuff. And it was just, I mean, it was regular, but I feel like he was just like, it was a lot of women and he was there, so that was different. But I really feel like he did that on purpose, just because I said no about him picking me up, or I didn't say no, I didn't give him an answer. So that happened.
So you were just trying to avoid kind of like a confrontation.
Yeah.
Right.
And then that was before I gave him the answer, and then I said no respectfully, and then I got kicked out. And yeah.
Okay, so Delayah, okay, it's in this process of telling him no, did you discuss that with your parents before you told him no, or did you just do that instinctually on your own and then tell your parents, or how did that play out?
Okay, so I told my mom. My mom was like hell no, like, and then she told my dad, and my dad was disgusted. He didn't know how to take it, because also my neighbors and stuff were also asking him to marry my other sister and to marry me. So he was just like, why are all these older men asking to marry my daughters? Like,
Oh, somebody else was asking to marry. Okay, I see what you're saying.
Yeah. There was like three of my neighbors, because most of my neighbors were men and stuff.
Mm.
And oh, my sister's here.
Oh.
Yeah, that's.
And what happened at the North office after you refused to be with him in the kingdom?
Oh, so like, yeah, I got kicked out. North office, South office, like, they told me to work at the cafeteria and stuff. And it's kind of like a blur. I just felt hurt. Like, I remember telling because one of his wives at the time was warning me not to marry him and stuff like that. And
right,
because that's pretty much what I was gonna be doing if I went under his headship.
So this firing was obviously a direct result of your rejection of the proposal.
Yeah, and like my counselors and judges were like, they thought I was already married to him anyways. So they were kind of like treating me differently. I felt like, because I remember I would have I had like, usually people have 2 counselors, but I had like 4 counselors for no reason. So
that was actually going to be my next question, was what was your counseling experience like in the House of Yahweh?
So like other teenagers, and I don't know if it was other teenagers, but people were like gossiping and stuff and telling my counselors stuff, and I guess they were meeting with me, telling me, like, giving me assignments on like how you shouldn't do this and that and that, and like just assuming stuff about me, and it made me feel uncomfortable because like they weren't on my side at any of the time. It's like I feel like they were making stuff up, or they were just like, because they were really judgy. I feel like they teach everybody to be judgy, because especially when you like for instance, like when you teach and stuff, there's like a person judging everything that you do, and it's just like, yeah, it's a really
so judgy. Was it ever explained to you why you had so many counselors?
No, I just feel like no.
And when you say you had 4 counselors, was it usually 4 counselors all at one time? Like you were in a room and there were 4 other people kind of, for lack of a better word, ganging up on you? Or were you only seeing them 2 at a time?
It was in a room. It was actually in the middle of the sanctuary, in front of like, yeah, in front of a lot of people. Like, yeah.
Counseling wasn't done in a private setting?
No, it wasn't. It was on Sabbath.
That's new.
That was just for me, Mel. That was just for me.
I think that's new. Most people counseled in a private setting? Delayah, do you know if other people were counseled in private settings, or was everybody counseled out in the open like that?
Yes. What I remember, I saw people like on the corner of the sanctuary, like there's these big buffaloes that are like walls.
Right.
They would go there, but my counselors always chose to like be in front of everybody, and I was just like, that's kind of humiliating.
Yeah.
Like.
So let me ask you this question then:
Oh, we lost your sound. Can't hear you.
Right.
We can't hear you.
I hear you.
Oh, there you go. Say it again. Can you hear her, Delayah? Because I can't hear her.
A little bit. Like, it's kind of low. Why?
Let me see if I can.
No, I don't.
Turn up her speaker. Say something.
So what I was saying.
Okay, I can hear you now.
Anyway, what I had asked was, so when your counselors thought that you were married to him, were they nicer to you?
It's not like they told me, oh, I think you're married yesterday. It's just like something they assumed because I was working at the North office every single week. And it's like, I feel like it's something.
So in hindsight, when you think they were assuming that, were they treating you better?
No.
No. Okay.
And it was just like, okay, so pretty much, most of the teenagers there want to get married and stuff. So I remember one time I was just like, you know, because I was so young and naive, I was just like, how can I get married? And blah blah blah.
Right.
And that was before I even met Pastor. And they were like, you're not ready or something. And I was just like, I know I'm not ready, but like, I would like to know more information about it, you know, because all my friends at the time, they were, you know, getting ready, you know, preparing, like their counselors were like helping them. And I had the same counselors as one of my friends that was like, two of them had my counselor. And it's like, I don't know, I feel like they was being judgy at the time, like, because I wasn't like how you gonna say I'm not ready to learn, you know what I mean?
Right.
And so I guess they assumed, oh, she wants to marry Pastor now, so, you know, because she really wants to get married or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, Delayah, how did moving closer to the House of Yahweh affect your mother?
Okay, so my mom was getting treated badly. Like, they always followed us since the beginning. They had people watch us. I don't know why, but we've caught like this is a bathroom, a clean and unclean bathroom during the feast and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Hold on. Yeah. Hold on. Okay. I'm back. My fault.
Okay. Welcome back.
What was the question again?
How did moving closer to the House of Yahweh affect your mother?
Also, yeah, my mom was getting treated badly there. It was because everybody's their own person, and so like she was doing whatever she wanted to do, and it's not like she was hurting anybody. She, like, for instance, like on during services, like she would just like during feasts specifically, she would just like walk around, because, you know, you could walk around, who can't walk around, and they just was just like, no, you can't walk around. And
you can't walk around. That's all we did at the feast.
Yeah. Or like you can't sit there, like you have to sit. It's like they were being controlled. They wanted to control everything, like the judges specifically.
Okay, in hindsight, I don't know the answer to this, Delayah, but do you think they were trying to run your mom off?
I think they were just trying to watch what we were doing. Like, okay. I think they were, because there's been incidences like that. People came there just to like spy. So.
Oh.
I don't know.
Okay. So they just didn't fully trust that you guys were there for what they would consider the right reasons.
Yeah, and so I started getting involved in stuff. But did any of that?
Oh, go ahead.
So like we just like left because like right after that pastor situation, what happened with me, and we're like we're gonna move to Oklahoma, and so while we're in Oklahoma, we would come back. Like we came back for like 2 feasts and stuff. The Feast of Passover. And I didn't go, but my mom and my sister and my dad went, and they were like, you're not supposed to be here or something. Like, since when? Like, you know, I guess because we disappeared and we didn't tell anybody. So it's not like we left. We didn't fully left at the time. We just felt uncomfortable living there in our situation. Like nobody was helping us.
Right. And basically, your family was put in the position where they were told the only way that you could advance or get any help, especially with your living situation, was if you were willing to be under Yisrael's headship, correct?
Yeah, it seemed like that's why I was hurt, because I was like, wow, like just because I won't marry you you're gonna treat my family like this. You're just gonna. He like blocked me. He stopped calling me, blocked me after that phone call. Had the judges kick me out. Be disrespectful and stuff like that. So.
Well, Delayah, I'm just going to say that I'm really sorry that happened to you, because that is a lot of pressure for a 15-year-old girl who loves her family and wants her family to be in safe living conditions. That is an awful position to put you in, to make you feel like you are in this position where it's your responsibility to essentially sacrifice yourself in order to help your family. That was an awful position to put you in.
Make you feel like you have to prostitute yourself out,
right,
in order to take care of your family.
Essentially, yes.
I'll say it.
Yeah, that was really weird, and it was one of his wives at the time. After that situation happened, she was talking to my mom, and she was just like, what he would have done to her was use her up while she was young, and like when she gets older, or like after he's done using me up, he's gonna like, put me in a trailer for the rest of my life and have me work and be a slave.
Right.
I was like, wow.
Well, I'm glad that your mom was safe enough was smart enough to save you from that fate.
Yeah, one of his wives said that she doesn't like a lot of his older wives. Like my mom would talk to them, and they were just like, wow, like they sold their property and they gave it to the house, and they have to work for everything.
Now, did you have any other elders that had propositioned you for marriage or wanted you to come under their headship?
I'm pretty sure there was. They just didn't. Israel was just like, I feel like what he wants for himself, he's not gonna let anyone else get it, if that makes sense, because there was also a lot of people that my dad knew that were like older, that are been ready to get married, I guess, and it was hard for them to get married because Yisrael was like, oh, you're not ready, or like Yisrael wants all the females he wants to be in his headship, and I just think that's ridiculous because
oh yeah,
it's kind of weird how they set up the marriages and stuff, because I had a friend that she was 18 and she was marrying a 30-year-old, and her 25-year-old sister was married an 18-year-old, and I don't know, they never met each other, and I'm just like, why would you pair up age differences like that? You know what I mean? It just doesn't make any sense.
That is a little weird.
Hey, Mel, she answered my question. You want to go ahead and move on to 13?
Sure.
Also, you asked me, so when my mom went to the Feast of Passover, the last time we were there, they were like, you're not supposed to be here. And she was confused, so she was about to enter the sanctuary, and they like slammed her hand, and like she damaged her hand. They damaged her hand, and they didn't even apologize. They was just like, you're not supposed to be here.
They slammed her hand in the door?
Yeah.
Wow.
Who is they? Was it the guards, an elder?
Yeah, it was she wears glasses and she has orange hair, like
so it was a female.
Yeah.
On the female side. Okay. Wow.
Is your mom's hand okay?
At the time, it had to heal. It took like 2 weeks to heal.
Wow, that is crazy. So, what was your dad's health like just before you left the House of Yahweh, after doing all the cleanses and the living conditions and the stress? What was he like at that time when you left?
Worse than we got there, really. They didn't help him. I feel like they just sped up his health problems by like their food and everything.
Right.
Wow.
Well, and if I remember right, you said your dad had heart problems too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then in the House of Yahweh, you have to salt everything too, right? And that that intense salt intake is probably not healthy for somebody with heart problems, I would guess.
Yeah, they put sugar in everything. Like everything that needs sugar, they like double it. Because I worked at the cafeteria, and they have the cheapest food. Like, you know, it is what it is, but like,
Right.
don't say like we have the best food in the world where you just still get your eggs from Walmart like everybody else. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like
Yeah.
they said that they farm everything, they grow everything, but you just order from Benny Keats. Like Benny Keats comes in place like 3 times a week. Like,
Yeah, and then
No,
they
she
probably
went
claim that those
straight-
are cage-free organic eggs.
She went
Yeah.
right past the shade and right into the sunlight. I love it. I love it. Hey, Delayah, when and why did you and your family finally end up leaving the House of Yahweh?
I feel like we officially left when we moved to Oklahoma. I mean, we were still doing the Sabbaths. Like, you know, my dad was, because before we even came to the House of Yahweh, my dad was still doing the Sabbaths. So
And what
It
year
was-
was that?
he came like in the late like the 90s.
Okay, so he started sometime in the late 90s, and then the year that you left, do you remember what year that was?
Yeah, 2017.
Okay.
2017. I feel like we officially left when we moved to Oklahoma.
Okay.
I was.
And why?
Huh?
Why what would you tell people if they asked why you left?
It's not what you really think. Like, why I left is just because, like, when you're getting treated a certain way, and it's just like, why would you want to continue putting yourself in that situation when you're not living right? Like, that's not. You gotta like. I guess you gotta respect yourself.
Right.
So you don't like you can't settle for less and stuff. I feel like a lot of people they're settling because they think, you know, they'll get something out of it. But really, I believe the Creator, He wants you to live a happy life. You know, you don't have to go through all of this. Like, of course, like I still go through tests and trials every single day through life, you know.
Right.
Everybody does, but it's just like you don't have to put yourself in that situation. Like, you know, it's really no point. Like, I feel like personally, Yahweh took me out of that place. I've been happy. They don't use that word, but I'm gonna say I've been joyful.
Hey,
'Cause
you can be happy now.
Yeah, honestly, like, yeah, I've been happier and I've been living life and I don't hurt nobody.
Good.
And I feel like a lot of people in there, they don't know that they're hurting people by their decisions and like how they, you know, how they are. I feel like they don't know. But they need to wake up because
so that's part of your recovery, and I'm glad that you're finding that joy in your life. Now, I think just for our viewers, it's important to know that since leaving, that your dad has passed away. You did lose your dad, and I think it's important for people to know that part of your story, because I do think that there is some responsibility, at least for the decline in your dad's health, that is held by the House of Yahweh in general for some of their teachings and stuff.
Yeah, he even said it himself in his last days. He was just like, the House of Yahweh really ruined my life. And like,
wow.
Like he was like, they took my wife. Like, okay, by him saying they took my wife, my mom was getting mistreated there. So she didn't want to be, you know, in Texas. So she would always like, you know, travel and like, because she did real estate also. So she didn't really want to be in Texas. And especially because our living situation, my sisters left because our living situation. I started getting depressed because I felt like I had a lot of pressure on myself. it was a lot. My depression, like how my counselors were treating me and stuff at the time, my anxiety was bad. So they didn't really care. And yeah, that's how he put it, as like they just wasn't what I expected.
Right.
You know? Yeah.
Wow. So how has the recovery for the relationship with your mom and your family been coming along?
Yeah, I mean it's okay. We're just living our lives and stuff. It was an experience. We're doing good now.
Good.
Yeah. At this point, we're just hoping that like everyone in there realize the truth soon. That is like you're wasting your time while being there. Like you don't have to. I feel like they don't follow the laws. Like it's just like a facade, you know.
Right.
Behind closed doors, they're doing different things, and I've seen it.
Yeah.
While working in the office, I don't know if I mentioned that part, but they break the Sabbath like literally every Sabbath.
Yeah. Yeah, you I think you mentioned that in the first part of your interview about counting money on the Sabbath and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and cooking and stuff. And,
yeah.
I mean, it is what it is.
Delayah, do you have a message that you would like to send to anybody that is still in the House of Yahweh?
I mean, I hope they understand when I say wake up and like, you know, do your research and follow your intuition and your heart. Like if you feel like it's not right, then you know that's a message. If you feel like, you know, if they follow your intuition, really, like just learn what you know your intuition is.
Sometimes
like,
sometimes your gut knows what's right before your head figures it out.
Yeah, and once you see the truth, like you can't unsee it. Like
right.
Absolutely. Yep.
Really.
Right.
Okay, well,
at this time, I would like to let people who are knowing that knew Delayah, that may still be in there, that knew her then, you know, there is a life after the House of Yahweh. This is an incredible young woman. She is, you know, working. She is leading a quote unquote as normal as you can get life. You know, I mean, look at her. She's striving. So there is life outside of the House of Yahweh. If you are in the House of Yahweh right now and you need help and you don't know where to go, let's just say Mel and I have learned that some people are not born, they aren't given birth certificates. They're not even reported that they were born. They don't have social security cards. And they're thinking, how can they leave? How can you leave? If that's what you're thinking, Melody and I can get you to the resources that you need to get to that will get you your birth certificate, your social security card, and all of those things. Leave us just a purple heart.
Yep.
We will reach out to you, and we have many, many, many people, and we have organizations that are there in Abilene, Texas, that are willing to help you right now. Nobody's going to ask you for money. Nobody's going to ask you to sell your body. Nobody's going to ask you to be an indentured servant. We are all trying to get you out of this life and get you into a life where you know that you are worth more than what you have been told for years, some of you since the moment you were born. I thank you so much for coming on our show. I know that this was very difficult for you. I know that this really raised your anxiety. I'm super proud of you. I'm super proud of you for telling your story. I would like everybody that is listening to her story right now to show this young, amazing woman some love. Let her know just exactly how amazing she is. I ask that you also like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube page. And Delayah, thank you.
Thank you.
And also, like, I wanted to put out that it's not the House of Yahweh, it's the House of Israel.
There we go. Yes. A lot of people say that since leaving. I mean, you're not the only one. That's a pretty common theme, is that you figure out that that place is not really about Yahweh, not about the Creator. It is about the man, and they follow the man. They basically do whatever he wants them to do, and it's really not about the Bible.
Yes.
Okay, well, thank you for adding that. Thank you again, Delayah, so much for joining us and coming and sharing your story with us and being brave. And I hope that some of the people that you still probably care about that are there hear and see your story at some point in time, maybe when they're ready, and maybe you'll hear from some of the people that you used to know.
Yeah.
That would be a blessing, wouldn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Bye.
Have a good day.